Several Las Vegas showgirls speak out after a deadly attack on the Vegas Strip. A man randomly stabbed 8 people, killing 2. Madison Kimbrough has this report.
I ran as fast as I could with them, and then I think he got me. I didn't feel that he stabbed me until I got to the wind gate.
Victims speaking out and those all over still reeling after Thursday's attack on the Las Vegas Strip. 6 people are still recovering while 2 people are dead. Of the 2 dead, 47-year-old Brent Allen Hallett and 30-year-old Maris DiGiovanni. Maris, a showgirl on the Las Vegas Strip, wasn't alone, as other victims who lived to tell their story share the terrifying encounter.
He grabbed the knife and he stabbed Maris in the heart. And then Victoria ran and he chased Victoria and he stabbed her in the back. And Maris, when she got stabbed, she ran and I ran in the same direction as her. And she collapsed.
Westby stating that she was then stabbed in the midst of running. Westby was by Maris's side through the whole ordeal as they were rushed to the hospital. Maris DiGiovanni's family sharing these photos with 8 News Now, stating that she was a light to the world. Originally from Spokane, Washington, she always saw the best in people, always gave them a chance, and always accepted people for who they were.
Jennifer Martin was on her way to work Thursday morning, coming down these escalators in front of the Wynn when she says she witnessed one of the most terrifying scenes of her life.
I saw him take the knife out of his backpack and just raise his hand up and start stabbing.
A scene Jennifer Martin wishes no one ever has to witness.
It's scary to see a knife actually go into a human body. You only see these kind of things on movies.
Martin was coming down the escalator after parking at Fashion Show Mall. She was on her way to work at the Wynn when suddenly a scene of deadly chaos plays out before her eyes.
I looked down, that's where I saw the showgirl on the floor, completely in a pool of blood. Somebody yelled, "There's more." He was running down the strip and I saw more bodies on the strip.
Martin became a key witness to a mass stabbing that left 2 dead and 6 taken to the hospital. The knife attack happening in just a matter of minutes Thursday morning near Las Vegas Boulevard and Sands Avenue. Martin says she was left at a loss for words and felt trapped.
He was 10 feet away from me. So I was the next victim. If I had come down that escalator, I was the next one closest to him.
Martin says her life flashed before her eyes, and when she got to the bottom, she turned around and ran back up. She says she screamed at others to run for their lives. Now, 1 day later, the image of the stabbed showgirl is one she says will always haunt her.
I can't imagine the pain that she was in laying on Las Vegas Boulevard bleeding to death.
Seeing several stabbed has scarred Martin for life.
It just keeps flashing in front of my eyes. The knife, the coming out, the stabbing, the blood, the people on the strip. It's something you never think you're going to see, especially at 11:40 on a Thursday morning.
October 6th, a day that Martin says changed her life forever.
There's 2 people dead. He went for the kill.
16 calls, an hour and 10 minutes long. These recordings show how people initially panicked during the attack, then collected themselves and rallied with each other to help save lives. Call after call.
He's running down the street stabbing people with a big knife.
Describing the horror.
He stabbed her in the heart.
As a man stabbed 8 people, killing 2 along the Las Vegas Strip.
One girl, she's really bad. I've really got to get here.
Most callers were witnesses. 2 were victims themselves. This caller was one of 2 women attacked at the beginning of the spree. She called asking for help, mainly for others.
I have a stab in my back, but I'm in shock right now, so I don't feel it. But please bleed out.
The caller stayed on with dispatch for roughly 6 minutes, waiting for help to finally arrive.
Seriously, breathe, okay? Seriously, breathe.
In the meantime, people rushed from all over to help the victims, some even hopping out of cars.
We just were in the Uber and we got out to help these people. There's multiple people.
Did someone let FD know it's 3 victims?
We don't know we just need help.
Police arrested Yoni Barrios in connection with the deadly stabbing spree. A final call from Fashion Show security gave a glimpse of how the attack began.
He's impersonating a chef.
Yeah, and he said he approached them, saying that he's a chef and he wanted to take a picture with them because they're showgirls.
Where are you?
At the Wynn?
And they stabbed her! They stabbed her!
Where at the Wynn?
Oh, please help me! No, no, no.
That's the voice of Anna Westby in pure shock as she calls for help after she and Maris Giovanni had been stabbed while both working on the Las Vegas Strip as showgirl impersonators.
He stabbed her in the heart.
Where's the person that stabbed her?
He ran. I haven't stabbed him in my back, but I'm in shock right now, so I don't feel it.
You can hear Westby begins to lose consciousness. EMT crews finally find her.
I'm at the Wynn. I'm at the Wynn Casino. Somebody has been stabbed.
Vanessa, a third showgirl, had gotten away, running inside Wynn Casino. A woman and a security guard tried to stop her bleeding.
Somebody else has been stabbed as well.
Okay.
He's in a chef outfit. With a chef hat.
Meanwhile, countless 911 calls continue pouring in.
There's a girl right now, she's just been stabbed, right here on the strip in front of the Wynn. This guy is walking down the street and he's stabbing people. He stabbed another guy right after he stabbed the girl, and then he stabbed another woman right after he stabbed the guy.
On the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Sands, another stab victim.
We're on the Palazzo side.
Do you have a closing description for the guy that did the stab the suspect?
No, we didn't. The guy that just got stabbed, he ran up to us and said, "Can you please call 911?"
Dispatchers try to identify the suspect.
Can you ask him if they remember anything else about that man? Did he have hair, a hat? What color pants?
I'll ask. Did he have a hat or anything on? She's asking me what he looked like. Did he have a hat or you saw him?
No, I saw him waving. He was bloody.
He was bloody and he had a bloody white T-shirt.
Oh, what? Okay.
I guess there's a ton of people that have been stabbed, and there's...
When you're saying a ton, help me with that. Help me with that information. Is it more than 5?
People calling for help.
He is a dangerous man that took multiple lives for no reason at all.
Anna Westby and Victoria Chiatano described the moments Yoni Barrios approached a group of women dressed as showgirls asking to take a picture with them. They say they never suspected the deadly rampage that would occur just seconds later.
We deal with people that are in different types of mind states all day. That man seemed like an everyday, completely right in his mind man.
Chiatano was the second victim to be stabbed after her friend Maris Giovanni, one of the 2 victims who passed away after being attacked Thursday. Chiatano says after being stabbed, she ran to the Wynn Resort, terrified that Barrios was still after her.
I saw a security guard, and then that's when I glad that somebody was there that could prevent him from coming closer to me.
Barrios confessed to Metro Police just minutes after the stabbing. In the arrest report, Barrios estimated that he stabbed approximately 6 people before throwing the knife into some bushes on the Las Vegas Strip. He says he hoped Metro officers would shoot him to death. He also told detectives that he believed the women dressed as showgirls were laughing and making fun of him, which made him angry. But both Westby and Chiatano say that's not true. In fact, Chiatano recalls making small talk with Barrios, but says he began acting strange even before showing them his knife.
I asked him where he was traveling from, and he didn't say anything. Like, he just looked at us, and I was like, I get it. Like, he probably didn't know how to speak English like fluently.
Westby says she's aware of Barrios' confession and apology for his actions, but says there's nothing he can do or say to bring her peace of mind.
You should have been sorry before you stabbed my friend. He does not deserve an ounce of empathy, of compassion. He was in his right mind.
869 Barrios. Sir, have you received a copy of the criminal complaint? Have you received a copy of the criminal complaint?
Yes.
Do you understand the charges?
Yes.
Can you afford to hire an attorney? All right, I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Mr. Coffey, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Meningo.
We ran a conflict check. It does not appear there's a conflict, so we can confirm this morning. We talked to Mr. Barrios. He's prepared to waive his right to preliminary hearing within 15 days. We would ask to set an ordinary course. We do have some current concerns regarding Mr. Barrios' competency. We're going to address those internally and bring those to the court's attention if anything comes of that.
All right, so sir, you understand you have the right to have a preliminary hearing within 15 days from today's date. It's my understanding you're going to be waiving that right, is that correct, sir?
Yes.
All right, so we'll set preliminary hearing, our ordinary course is in January.
That's fine.
Okay, so let's set prelim and then we'll talk about bail.
January 12th at 9:30 a.m.
Okay, so he's currently being detained without bail out of initial appearance court. Are we prepared to address that this morning?
Judge, we're not going to address bail this morning. I think we should wait until preliminary hearing until we have some more evaluations. We just got appointed, haven't even read the discovery yet. We're aware of what's in the press, but we're not prepared to go forward on bail.
Okay, so he is going to remain detained without bail until we hear otherwise.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Brian Cardona, 21 CR 018440-1. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Anthony Goldstein from the defendant. Your Honor, unfortunately, I've had no contact with the defendant. He doesn't seem to be here in court today. I checked this morning. He hasn't paid the $500. I don't have any other representations, Your Honor.
Okay, bench warrant 500.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shalene Graham, 22 CR 004927. Mr. Kajoka, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Of his charges, 2 counts of murder and 6 counts of attempted murder. His public defender, appointed minutes before his appearance, is now raising questions about his competency.
A person has to be competent to assist counsel, meaning they have to know time and place, that sort of thing. There's a fundamental level that he has to meet. There's some concerns about whether or not Mr. Barrios is competent at this point.
Attorney Scott Coffey is the public defender assigned to Yoni Barrios' case. He says they're just getting started on determining his defense.
In our limited discussions, our limited contact, he's been fine to deal with, other than some of his answers don't exactly track what you might expect.
Have you received a copy of the criminal complaint? Yes. Do you understand the charges?
Yes. Coffey's office will do an internal evaluation of Barrios to determine whether or not he's competent. If they determine he's not competent, Barrios would undergo a third-party court-appointed psychological evaluation.
If there's a finding that he's not competent to move forward, what's going to happen? He's going to be sent to a state facility for evaluation, either Lakes Crossing in Reno or Stein here in Las Vegas, and they would try to restore him to competency through medication, any kind of psychological counseling they could give him.
When asked whether or not Barrios is a U.S. citizen, Coffey said they don't know right now. They do know Barrios is from Guatemala and spent time in California before coming to Las Vegas. After Barrios waived his right to a preliminary hearing within 15 days, the judge set his next appearance date. Barrios' next court date is set for January 12th, 9:30 a.m. for his preliminary hearing.
Man accused in a deadly stabbing spree on the Strip last week will be back in court tomorrow. Yoni Barrios faces arraignment on 2 counts of murder and 6 counts of attempted murder.
The rampage happened in broad daylight near the Wynn Resort last Thursday. According to police, it all began when Barrios wanted to take pictures with the showgirl impersonators, and arrest documents say he flew into a rage when he thought they were laughing at him. Over the weekend, officials responded by boosting police presence from the Strip to Fremont Street. And for days, we have heard your growing concerns about the Strip from violence, crime, and homelessness.
Yeah, and these concerns are coming from both locals and tourists. So what's going to be done to keep everyone safe? We took your questions to Clark County, and I sat down with Chair Jim Gibson to get answers.
Devastating series of events, horrific, terrible, terrible loss. Grateful that our police force and the fire department were available to render aid and support and to catch this guy.
This ended up being national and international news. Are you concerned about the perception the Strip isn't as safe as it used to be?
Very, very concerned. I think we've seen some evidence. I mean, when you rank or rate a vacation, we're seeing some ratings that suggest that the boulevard is an issue in the minds of visitors. We take that very seriously.
There needs to be an increased presence constantly.
We have 75 more police officers assigned to the Convention Center Area Command that has responsibility for Las Vegas Boulevard. We have an increased number that are on what I'll call foot patrol. They're available to ensure that bridges and sidewalks are kept as safe as we can keep them, so that we're there in real time if something happens.
What's next for pedestrian bridges? Will there be changes made to loitering?
We've already begun to paint on those bridges messages that encourage people to keep moving. We have posted notices that whatever you're doing right now is being filmed.
The city of Las Vegas has some controls over buskers and their street performers. Does there need to be something similar on the Strip?
Well, our focus is on crime. It's not on the street performers. And the solution will be one that will address all of those issues. How on earth do we keep them safe, just like we're keeping everybody else safe?
Commissioner Gibson says using hundreds of cameras across the Strip, if someone's being unruly and harassing people, either police patrols or those new CARES teams for the homeless, they can immediately respond to help.
Right now, we're very on edge, walking on eggshells.
Showgirl impersonators on the Las Vegas Strip telling News 3 life has definitely changed. It's the first weekend since a mass stabbing that left 2 people dead and 6 others injured. The suspected killer, 32-year-old Yoni Barrios, now behind bars and booked on a number of charges, including murder. One of the 2 people killed in the attack, Maris Di Giovanni, was working as a picture-taking showgirl at the time.
I was supposed to work that day, and she sent me a picture of what happened on the news. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna work anymore.
Thoughts of quitting the business rushed through Jerry Bartow's mind as soon as news broke.
It was traumatizing. I was in a funk for like 2 days.
Sunday, an enhanced police presence along the Strip, but Bartow's boss, Cyan Drummond, questions how long it would last. She wishes police and hotel security would take them more seriously.
Because the first thing they say, you're not allowed on our property. But sir, I'm just telling you what happened on your property. Like this dude just sexually assaulted me. You're talking about get off your property. Like I get it, we're not allowed because we're soliciting, even though I'm not soliciting at the moment. I'm trying to come at you about a situation. But you're not taking me seriously because I'm in this costume. We get it, we're very exposed, but at the end of the day, we are people. Even though like the situation just happened, like I know people are like, okay, we care about you guys more, but we feel like we should have cared about us like in the beginning.